So today in this video we are going to understand what are the types of the Java testing and what are the main important Java testing types that every Java developer should know about. So in that context we are going to cover and understand what are the unit testing, integration testing and end-to-end testing in Java. So there are two main categories of Java testing. First one is the functional and other one is a non-functional. Some may add specialized category as the third one on top of these two, but eventually all the specialized testing come under either functional and non-functional. In that sense, there are only two main categories of Java testing. So first one is the functional and other one is the non-functional. So what is the functional testing in Java? So to determine that any testing that comes under functional or non-functional, there is a shortcut formula. We need to understand that all the testing that comes under the functional will focus on one key point, that is what should the system do. All the testing that comes under functional testing will focus on targeting what should the system do. Next, like it verifies whether the software performs all its objectives that are defined in the business and technical requirements. So in that it will verify whether the software performs its intended functionality according to the business and technical requirements. It will validate the specific features, business logic and user interactions. So tests are based on functional requirements and specifications. So typically these are performed first in the testing cycle, and it ensures that all the output is correct for the given input. These are either automated or manual, and we can use tools like Selenium or JUnit. So what is the non-functional testing? Like non-functional testing focus more on how the software operates rather than what it does, and it evaluates how well the system performs and its quality attributes instead of checking its specific functionality. It focuses more on performance, reliability, scalability, usability and security. So these are the non-functional requirements. For example, verifying the speed, load handling and security standards, and again like it is performed after functional testing. So these are some attributes non-functional testing will consider while we write the non-functional test. Next, like it ensures whether our software meets the quality standards. So it is going beyond, it's not about just functionality, but it will go beyond that and ensures that the quality is maintained. Next, like it often automated, and we can use the tools like JMeter, Load Runner, Verb Suite. So these are some points of non-functional. So in this, like we have covered what is functional and what is non-functional in Java testing, and we have covered some notable points that you need to understand and keep in mind. So we have well understood what are the main types of Java testing. So first one is the functional and other one is the non-functional. Now let us understand what all testing comes under functional and non-functional. So first is the unit testing, so wherein we can write our test cases to target the individual methods and classes in a isolation mode. Next, like integration testing, wherein we can write our test cases to cover or verify the interaction between components and modules. Next is the end-to-end testing. So this is the testing wherein we can check our entire application flow from start to finish, and here we can also check the user scenarios and the interactions. Here we will simulate real user workflows from start to finish. Next is the system testing, wherein we can test the complete integrated system to ensure that it meets the specified requirements. Next is the acceptance testing, wherein we can validate that the software meets the business or the user requirements and is ready for deployment. Next is the smoke testing, wherein we will quickly check to ensure the most critical functions work after a new build. Like once we add any new functionality, we need to check that particular functionality that we can cover in a smoke test. Next is API testing, wherein we can validate the correctness and reliability of our application programming interfaces, like what all endpoints we have written and interfaces we are using. We need to check whether they are correctly behaving as expected or not. Next is the sanity testing, wherein we can focus on our test to verify specific changes or bug fixes. If we have any bug fixes or any small enhancement, for that reason we need to check like whether it is working as expected or not. So this is specifically we need to check after bug fixing. Next is the regression testing, wherein we can ensure that the new changes do not break existing functionality. Inside regression, we need to run all the existing functionalities or test cases, so that we need to once again cross check that with the addition of new functionality, there is no breakup of existing test cases. Like any existing test case should not get impacted and get failed due to addition of the new test case, that we need to ensure about. So this is about regression testing. So these are all points or all testing that comes under the functional testing. Now let us understand what all testing comes under the non-functional. So first one, which is the most important, that is the functional testing, wherein we can measure speed, responsiveness and stability under load. Next one is the load testing, wherein we can test the behavior under expected user load. Like we can manually test, put some user loads and test this testing, how it behaves for that kind of load, how it behaves. So we need to test about. Next is the trace testing, wherein we can test the behavior under extreme or beyond normal loads. Next is scalability testing, wherein we can test the ability to handle growing amount of work. Like sometimes our application will work fine with some limited set of functionality, but as our application grows and in terms of user or functionality complexity, and as our application grows, it should be scalable. So that testing we need to perform. So that comes under the scalability testing. Next is the security testing. So inside security testing, we will check for vulnerabilities and ensure that the data is protected. So this is the most important thing that we need to perform, which comes under the non-functional category, because security is most important for any application, and which comes under the compliance testing as well. Next is the usability testing, wherein we can access a user interface and check the user experience. And finally, we can test for the compatibility testing, wherein we can ensure that software works across different environment, devices and browsers. So these are the main testing. These are all testing comes under the functional and non-functional categories. Now for every Java developer, they must know what is unit testing, what is integration testing, and what is end-to-end testing, because for any project these three are essential, and most of the time Java developers are usually writing these test cases. So they should know about what is unit testing, integrated and end-to-end testing. So what is the unit testing? So we can write the individual methods and functions within the classes or module to verify that each unit of code works as intended or expected in isolation. So this is an example of the unit test, wherein we have added one method, add method in calculator class, and this is the test class for that, and this is covering that add method. And this is the test class. We have written one unit test for this add method. So what is the integration testing? So inside integration testing, there are multiple components of services involved in that. So we need to verify that all the components communicate with each other as expected. So we need to check the communication between components such as Java services database or between microservices, and those are communicated as expected or not. So we need to verify that. Next is the end-to-end testing. This is the testing wherein we need to check the real user scenario by testing the entire application flow from start to end. And in this testing, end-to-end testing, we are going to verify that all the integrated parts starting from front end to back end to database, or if any external system is involved, we need to check all these are working together as expected in the production like environment. So this is about the important Java testing that every Java developer should know about, and they must know, and they should work on this area so that they should not have any problem while working in the real practice project in the industry. I hope you must have enjoyed this. Please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching.